Hey, everybody, listen, welcome into the building, okay? It's Saturday book club time. And y'all know what we're doing here? We're giving you part three of Prince Harry's spare, okay? And listen, this is my copy. I want to prove to y'all, okay? And I got the copy we're gonna give away, okay? So I got my copy, the copy we're gonna give away, okay? So we're giving away a copy today, and every time we do a little book club moment, whatever book we're reading, we'll give it away. But you gotta bear with us. We just not putting these things into rotation. So what we will do is we will give the book away at the beginning next time, or maybe before. We'll figure it out. But either way, join us, Prince Harry Spare Part 3. Let me bring my co-host in the building. Hey.
What's up? What's up, Diva? How you doing today?
Looking good. Listen, you looking all professional over there. I got to
Mm,
upgrade. Ah.
Look, it's yours is right around the corner. It's on the way, girl. We know it's coming. We
Yes,
just setting it
yes.
up. We
I like
good.
it. I like it. I like it. I love it. You know what, Roya? Before we get into this, Prince Harry Spare Part 3, I want to do a little something here. It's Black History Month. Let me share
It
my screen for
is.
a second. I just want to show the people a little something. Let me
Yes.
see what I got to see here. We got to show the people a little something because God is good. Um,
All the time.
Child.
Lord Jesus, forgive me for my eyes have seen Jesus. Help us,
Woo!
Lord.
Michael B. Jordan, we
Mm,
getting it up to you in this Rolling Stone cover.
mm,
This is discipline here. This is
mm,
discipline. Chiseled.
mm,
Okay?
mm.
Got it all together. Eating the right foods. Probably
Listen,
doing yoga and everything. Well, go ahead, talk to me.
this is what heartbreak looks like. This is the
That
other
part.
side of heartbreak. This is
Woo.
the other side of heartbreak. Mm.
Mm.
This man right here, y'all, let me tell you something. That Lori Harvey, he broke his heart now. She broke his heart. But let me tell you, the way that he done came out on the other side, this is a Mona Lisa, a masterpiece.
That part. That part. You know what? To so much so to the point where I'm saying to myself, you know what? I need to call me a trainer or something.
Mm,
Saying don't do
listen.
that to him. No. Uh,
We come against that right now.
Let me rebuke that. Let me
We
rebuke
rebuke
that.
that. We are coming in with the rebuke
Blasphemy.
spirit today, okay?
That
Listen,
part right there. Don't do that. Come on, Claire. Perfection. That's what I'm talking about. Come
perfection.
on, Claire. Come
Yeah,
on, Mo. Discipline and commitment. Come
that's
on.
right.
Words we need to hear. I'm trying to tell you. Robert said the Michael B. Jordan has come a long way since he was on All My Children. Was he on All My Children?
Yes, he was.
I gotta go look
Oh
that up.
my gosh.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Sid. Which community? Because maybe I have to visit that community.
We're not doing this today. We're not doing this today. We are not doing this today.
Oh my God. Listen, guys, we ain't trying to
Oh my god.
Ooh,
Oh my
chill. We
gosh.
ain't trying
Help
to
us,
start
Holy
no
Ghost.
mess. We ain't trying to start no mess on a Saturday. We came to do book club, but we just want to honor, every now and then you gotta step back. I
Look,
step
give
back
honor
and
to
you gotta
whom
honor
honor
the
is
people.
due. That's
That
right. We
part.
got to give honor to whom honor is due. And so today's honoree is none other than the Mr. Michael B. Jordan. We thank you for your hard work. We thank you for your dedication. We just thank you, sir.
We just thank you. And before we take this away, y'all take one more look. I mean, get out your cameras, do a snapshot,
Whew,
go look it up
listen,
on the
I'm
internet.
doing look. It's a little behind the scenes, but okay.
Oh my God. Ooh, I'm all hot and bothered over here. Woo.
Look,
All
Look,
right, I
Diva,
need to
look.
say it. Come on now, this is too much. Whew. All right, I gotta get myself together. Okay, I'm together now. I gotta take this
Okay.
down. We gotta go, y'all. We gotta go. I gotta take this down. I gotta stop sharing because that was
Mm.
too much. All right, hold on.
The
Oh
blessings
God,
of the Lord have truly made him rich and
woo,
added no sorrow unto it. Okay.
that part right there. That part right here.
Mm.
Woo, okay. All right, we're good now. All is
We
well.
good.
We're
We
good.
good.
We got to get into this
Mm.
story here. Okay, let me sit up. Let me sit up. You know how I got to do, right? Let me sit up.
We're
Okay.
ready.
Whew. Wait, come on, clear the green pants. I'm trying to tell you. Wow.
And green
Wow.
is my favorite color, by the way. So that was a word. That was a sense. Thank you for noticing.
Thank you, Mo.
Yes
Let
it
me
was.
focus. Let me focus. Woo. Okay,
Mm-mm.
I gotta focus. Gotta focus. Okay. Woo. Wait, E said she didn't get it. You gotta help E out. Okay. Think she didn't get it. She didn't get the photo. Robin, you gotta send it to her. Okay. Perfection, y'all. All right. So that was our Black History moment. You know, sometimes you
Yes.
got to talk about inventors, and sometimes you got to talk about a body of work, a creation.
Mm. A
Okay. And that was
masterpiece.
Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, if you listen, God bless you and whoever you get involved with. That's it. That's all.
Okay, come on.
All right,
We are gonna behave the rest of this
woo,
live. We're gonna
we
behave
gonna
the rest
behave.
of this.
We gonna behave. Okay, we together. We together. We together. Let me. Woo. Okay, I'm better now. All right, so Spear, part 3. Let's talk about it. Let's get into this. Okay, we're gonna talk about first. You know what? This whole last part is how he met Megan. You know, he talks about how he met Megan and how they pretty much fell in love. Okay, how they met and they fell in love. You know what I want to say about their whole meeting, Roy, and I'm falling in love. You know, I'm beginning to understand them as a couple. Okay, so
Yes.
before reading this book, I didn't get them. I didn't understand them. I was like, they messy. They keep running their mouth. I'm getting to understand them, but I want to say this: I still do not believe that Megan didn't know who he was. I'm sorry. What are your thoughts?
It was a setup from the beginning. It was a setup. She found this man. She knew this man was in breakdown. In the words of Iyama, he was in breakdown. He was in
Yeah,
breakdown, and
yeah,
she had to come and build him back up because it okay. And I let me put a spin on it this way.
yeah.
She was already on a self journey of trying to heal herself and trying to work on herself in the midst
True.
of them trying, in the midst of them meeting or in the midst of their connection. So I
Right,
don't think she had intentions of like, okay, I'm going on this trip or going away to meet him. But I
right.
do definitely think that she knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Mm-hmm.
Prince freaking Harry. I mean, his mother is the
Come
most
on.
popular woman in the world. So, I mean, she definitely knew who he was. But I do not think that she went into this self journey with the intentions to meet Prince Harry and become the princess and marry and da 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 da. But
Yes.
she knew who this man was. Yes.
Exactly. So he was convinced really that she didn't. Um, but you know what? She immediately, once the public found out about them and their relationship. So I back up a little bit. You know, when they met, I want to say it was in London, right? It's slipping my
Mm-hmm.
mind right now for whatever reason. Well, when they met, it was a nice, cute little meeting. Like they met, you know, they hung out for a very long time together, and they just really got to know each other for who they were, right? And they, to me, after she was, after all, she was living in Canada. You know, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, but they got to meet or whatever, and they really got to know each other. And I think that he just fell in love. Now, one point I will say that he made, which is a really good point, he said, you know what, the family didn't want him to marry a divorcee, but yet his father was a divorcee marrying a divorce that married a divorcee, okay, and he named other people in the royal family who was
Yes.
divorced and got married.
Uh Charles's sister, Princess
Hello.
Anne, this Queen Elizabeth's sister, Princess Margaret. I mean, this had been going on for generations, centuries now. At this point in time, now that Prince Harry is wanting to do that, so it was just always the double standards for me. Like, ugh, like
That part, right? So wait, Derby Diva. Okay, so she's saying she knew Wendy Williams gave the details on how she prepped to meet him. Ooh, ooh, mm, do tell.
mm,
I can believe that. I really feel that way. But I also feel, I will say this. I do feel that, she truly loves him. But I also feel that those two are bonded in trauma, in pain,
mhm.
in hurt, from their families and within themselves. And when
Yes.
you have two people like that getting together, I feel like it's a recipe for disaster. Okay. So go ahead, your thoughts. I see something twirling in the brain there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think now this is what I think based off of what
Uh-huh.
I've kind of gathered from this part 3. I think that it may be a little bit different for them because there were a lot of situations where Megan did not tolerate the behavior that Harry gave, and there was just growth in her that I did not think that she actually had inside of her, if that makes sense. I thought that they were kind of two kids coming together, but I feel like, in my opinion, she had a lot more maturity than Prince Harry did. Do you?
Mm,
No, no.
I don't think.
We'll talk about it once we get into the
Yeah,
details.
yeah, we'll talk about it because I don't even know if Megan has any high level maturity at this moment, but we'll talk about it.
Well, I mean, you
e-
can only fly high for so long now. Even Michelle Obama said sometimes she go low.
listen. E said, "Don't ruin Harry's fairy tale, y'all." Okay, we won't ruin it. She didn't know who he was. Okay, she had no clue. All right. So he tells it. He is in love with the idea of love. Okay, and he also almost like a lot of female. I don't, I use the word a lot, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, a lot of females, they dream of, they're gonna grow up, get married, have some kids, have a beautiful family, have this amazing career. He was always he was a male that was seriously, like, he wanted his wife, he wanted his family, and he had dreams of hanging with his brother and her wife together as like couples in a family. So do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I felt
Yeah.
like he was waiting to bump into that person that he could marry, and Megan just happened to be the one who was willing to deal with everything that was going on for as to him being a royal, because everybody he met before that, they couldn't deal with the paparazzi and what it would take to date someone such as Harry. But Megan hung in there.
She
You
did,
know who
but she
someone is when I
also
go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. What was you gonna
sh-
say?
he also speaks on the fact that, he just always imagined that it would be not in the way that I'm saying this, but a foursome. It was always a threesome,
Yeah,
Kate, William, and Harry. And he just
yeah.
automatically thought that the foursome would just, come together and it would just vibe. And the fact that it was just kind of a slap in his face, yet again, another disappointment, another failure of something that, he thought was going to happen and was excited about. But here we are yet again. Like,
Because his
mm,
brother is a piece of work. And Keisha, you are
uh,
right. Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Camilla need to have several seats. We're talking several seats. And
all
William
the way in
ought
the back.
to be ashamed. What ought to be ashamed of how he's mistreated his brother, of himself, and for mistreating his brother. Oh, I agree with you, Keisha, 100%. William is a piece of work. And I wholeheartedly, I was talking to Royaires and I said, you know what? All of us sometimes embellish a story. I said, but the core of what Prince Harry is saying, the core of everything that he's saying, I wholeheartedly believe it is
Yeah.
100% the truth. William was a piece of work. William, though, was one of those people where he's into appearances. He don't care what's going on inside the house. When we step outside the door, we're a united front. Okay, he believes in appearances. He believes in the royal family. He believes in the monarch. He believes in the monarch above everything. I don't care if your wife is suffering. We got to go out there because we are the royal family. So, William is a whole hot mess, and William treated Megan badly. Go ahead.
He's a whole hot mess. And it's kind of like I had told you a little earlier, Diva. William and Harry were raised completely differently. As Harry opened up the book, he said it to us specifically. William was the heir and I was the spare. And that is the exact upbringing that they have had. William is the heir. He's the first in line. Whatever he wants, he gets. Whatever he says goes. That is how he's been taught because he has
Mhm.
been groomed to be the future king of this monarch. And so, in order to do that, you have to, according to their standards, have these, this is me, this is what I say goes, and that's it. And that is how he has been raised. Queen Elizabeth was this way. I feel like it was a little bit less harsh because she was a woman. But now that we're
Mhm.
seeing the males get back in power, we're yet again seeing that this is a man's world. And no matter what, they're going to do whatever they feel they desire is going to make them, look good, feel good, and be in power. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. And it just
It's a
goes to
hot
show
mess.
that you don't have any respect for your family. You're going to let this crown, as it has all these years, continue to rule over the love and the relationships in the family. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Lynn Carter said how she got married and none of her black side of the family was not invited. Well, you know what? Let's work our way up to the marriage and the proposal and all of that. So I pushed the fast forward button. They really got to know each other. They started dating. He began to introduce her to the family, and when he introduced her to the queen, he wasn't really going at that moment to introduce her to the queen. He was going to the house to see some other people. And then he found out the queen was there. So they had no choice but to hurry up and prepare Megan to meet the queen. That's where that whole outrageous story comes about the whole cursey and all of that, and how she had to learn. She did have to learn how to cursey on the fly because she wasn't, that wasn't really the true moment she was going to meet the queen. But hey, it happened. So they taught her really quickly, like, this is how you cursey, this is how you approach the queen, this is how you talk to her, this is what you say, so forth and so on. And so, Megan met her and she began to meet the family. Once Prince Harry started to tell everybody, like in the family, like, listen, I'm meeting this actress. She's on this show called Suits. And he started to let them know. And then when he knew that he wanted to marry her, he had to ask the queen for permission. So he went to the queen, he asked her for permission to marry Meghan, and he wanted to ask Meghan's father. But as we all know, Meghan's father is problematic. He was problematic from the very beginning. And so, he didn't have the opportunity to ask Meghan's father. And I'm a fast forward a little more too, when they was about to get married, that's when the father started kind of acting crazy and getting greedy. But once you are involved with a royal, they not only, and when I say they, the paparazzi, they not only follow you and want to get in all of your business, they start to follow everybody around you. Like if they see that you got a best friend, they see you got a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, they start following all of them. I mean, people were paying, the paparazzi was paying people to, sit on, put cameras on the roof of their home. And I'm talking big money, to aim it at like the father's home or to aim it at Megan's home to get them whatever footage that they could. There was some people that's like, no, I wasn't going to do it. But imagine, of course, you found a lot of people that was like, all right, all I got to do is put a camera on my home and aim it towards, Megan's home. I'm good. I'll do that. And you're going to pay me. And it's not illegal for you as an individual to put a camera on your home and aim it at your neighbors. Okay. If your neighbor happened to be Meghan Markle and you want to do that, it's not illegal. And that's the crazy, sad thing about it. And so as Meghan and Harry started dating, They had to sneak around a lot. You can only imagine. They snuck around a lot. But then once it got out that they were dating, the paparazzi started to relentlessly follow her and kind of harass her. And so where this comes into connection is that Harry was hypersensitive to the paparazzi and following anybody that he dated, because he related everything that would happen to them to the situation that happened with his mom. So I think that if Harry had got the proper counseling or got some counseling as to what happened with his mom, he wouldn't I think he would have had a different reaction to the paparazzi following all of the females that he was dating. He looked at it through the lens of what happened to his mother instead of through the lens of what was happening in real time with him and them following the girlfriends. Because you follow what I'm trying to say right here? It's like
I do.
he always thought like a highly negative outcome, because he just related everything in terms of that to what happened with his mother. Um,
But
but
and that makes sense. You have to really think about that. We are our perspective, our mindsets is connected to what we grow up knowing and what we grow up seeing and understanding. And we have to remember there was never a conversation had about the passing of his mom. There was never any kind of conversation about, therapy or actually dealing with the issues, because it just wasn't his mom passing. We have to remember also, he was the spare. So, he was still going in school. He was having issues in school. He had been having issues being in the service. He's had all of these issues all his life, and it's always come out in a negative form. So here we are now. This is the first time that Harry is really experiencing some real positive joy connecting in his life, in my opinion. And Megan is to thank for that. And I want to kind of revert real quick back to my point where I was saying, are you talking about me?
yeah, you said Megan was to thank for Harry. What make with did I
His
hear wrong?
happiness.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't think so?
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, I wanted to kind of revert back to my point earlier this in the show, where I had said that I feel like Megan was a lot more mature than him and a lot of the people that she dated. Because as you spoke, the paparazzi hounded her. There was a time where she was getting ready to go back to Canada. She was going to the grocery store to cook a meal for Harry. And this gentleman asked to take a picture. She said, "Thank you, I respect it, but right now I just don't want to take a picture." Well, since you can't take a picture, I'll follow you around everywhere. Long story short, four gentlemen ended up following her all the way back to the college cottage that Harry and her shared together. He was in frantic and chaos, didn't know what to do. She came in, calmed herself down, went on, continued to cook, and continued doing what she was doing. When they first dated, he was late to the date. Guess what? She didn't wait around, and continue to stay the length that she could have. She had another event to go to after that. So she stayed as long as she could and she moved forward. I just, in my opinion, she never broke her own self-worth and passion for herself to accommodate him or the paparazzi, or just to accommodate anybody, in my opinion. That's what I gathered.
Yeah, those were good
To the
stories
point
that
of,
you brought. Those were very good stories that you brought up. Mo, you are absolutely correct. Harry was a perpetual hurt 12-year-old. He is definitely stuck
yes.
at that moment where he was told that his mother was no longer here. I
Hmm.
wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Keisha Harris, you are correct. What is jacked up is that they were all ultimately jealous of Harry. I want to say I agree with that too. That was the number one mistake. Never plan on being a foursome. I'm a solo act, but we can do a duet every now and then. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what Harry thing is. Harry loved his family. He loved his brother. He loved
Mhm.
his brother. Remember, his
That's
brother
all he
wouldn't take
had.
what. Yeah, that's what he had. His brother wouldn't take. You know what? That just hit me real hard there. It's all he had. Mama's gone. Daddy is emotionally like disconnected, not in a mean
Mm-hmm.
way, but that's because that's the way he grew up and it's all he knows.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have my brother, and my brother don't even want me. My brother don't want to act like he know me in the school. My brother telling me don't get hung up on you're gonna get married and we all gonna hang out together as couples, because it's not gonna happen.
His brother wouldn't even let him come in and serve in the same continent as him.
That part, that
That's
part,
and he never speaks on having any kind of relationship with Princess Diana's family. So
that
literally,
part.
that's all he had.
That's all he had. Yeah, Andrew knew he be Andrew need to be locked up. We're gonna get to a situation with that, which I
Mm-hmm.
agree with. And I'll just say this really quickly, and we'll touch on it more when we get to this part. But when Meghan and Harry decided they was gonna leave the royal family, and the royal family wanted to cut off their security, they was like, "Wow, but you Andrew still got his security." You got a whole person that's accused of you know what crimes and can still have
Mm.
his security. But because we decided to leave and y'all just don't like us, y'all gonna leave us out there uncovered. And they talked about how if they wanted to get security on their own, it was gonna be $6 million a year. That's a lot of money.
A lot.
Pitbull, are you trolling? What about Harry talking about women being da da da? Mm. Okay, so William is totally indoctrinated in the monarchy. Harry saw beyond it. That you are correct, Robin. You are correct. Tracy, thank you. Listen, somebody, and you know what? Do you have? I do have a Cash App, Tracy. I think I have it up there. I don't know.
It's
I gotta.
scrolling at the bottom. It's
It's
scrolling at the
scrolling at.
bottom.
It's scrolling at
Uh,
the bottom.
uh-huh.
And the other day,
Gray
for the
Diva. Dollar
thank you.
sign
That
Gray
is my
Diva.
great diva. Thank you, Roya. And thank you, Tracy. And you know what? The other day, when I did that the interview with Bunny Divaj, so many of you cashed at me, and I want to say publicly, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So yeah, yes, thank you. So I mean, it's very sad that you lost your mother and you only got one sibling, and then you're not even close to that sibling because that sibling keep pushing you away, pushing you away, pushing you away. Now I'm gonna push forward to this, Roya. Harry talks about in this book when he wanted to propose to Meghan and that whole situation. And I want to say Kate, I think Kate, just like her husband saw his own brother Harry as competition, and Kate saw Meghan as competition, point blank in the period. When anybody agrees to be in a bride's wedding, let's be clear, it's the bride's day. If the bride wants you to wear this ugly dress that's a nasty, ugly color, if that's not what you want to do, then you back out the wedding.
Hello.
But it's her day. It's the bride's day. And as a part of the bridal party, you're not supposed to give the bride no heat.
No
So what
lip. No
ended that
lip.
that part. So what ended up happening to Megan when she was about to get married, her father was in the streets acting a fool, and the paparazzi was eating it up. They was eating it alive. Okay, they was eating it up. So what happened, the father ended up, and the father was scheduled to come to the wedding initially, right? But what the father ended up doing was he ended up selling fictitious stories to the paparazzi, right? And in the meantime, Harry and Meghan have been trying to fight other nasty headlines about them. So, and then Harry became obsessed with these headlines and stuff. Every time a headline would come out, he would come to Meghan and be like, is it true? Because if it's not true, we're gonna sue, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. I think he got too involved in the headlines, but the headlines was nasty. Let me just
But we
share one
gotta
sample.
also
Go ahead,
point
you
this
talk.
out real quick too,
Yes.
Diva.
Uh-huh.
That living in the palace, living in the cottages, the servants every day, they would come and put the news out on the tables. So I feel like it was like, in my opinion, like torture almost. Like, we want you to read this, so here. It was just always a setup to me. Like, they made me so mad.
Look at this. Look at this. They could not escape. these headlines every second of the day, talking negative about them.
Megan
Megan
made
made
Kate cry.
Kate
That
cry.
you put get out of here. Get out of here.
So what they're talking about with this Megan made Kate cry is, so Megan, it's the wedding time now, right? And so the bridesmaids dresses, and remember Kate already had the little girl, and I think the little boy was already born, right? The little, and
Hmm.
so she Kate said that when the little girl, what's her name, Charlotte, because she's adorable,
Charlotte,
but yeah,
she
she's
is
adorable.
beautiful.
Yeah, but
Yes.
when she tried on her dress, she cried because it's too big. Now, what kid gonna, but Megan, what happened with Megan at the time was she was dealing with her father being messy in these headlines. So she couldn't deal with Kate talking about this little girl's dress is too big. And
Hmm.
so Kate got a whole nother, seamstress, and was like, listen, now it's my wedding. You gonna tell me my dress has got to be made over? Cause your little girl upset because the dress too big? Why can't the seamstress just come and fix it?
After she had already told her that all she got to do is take the dress to the seamstress, and the
That part.
seamstress would be willing to fix it.
That part. So Kate is just like her husband. Her husband treat Harry bad, and Kate treat
Problematic.
Megan bad. That part, point blank in the period. But imagine, how can you be saying, if every time you wake up is these nasty, filthy headlines about you? How you gonna breathe? How can you breathe? And then you got your family who can stop it and won't even stop it. They won't even stop it.
Because how many times did Prince Harry talk about the amount of times he went to his dad about the
Hmm,
tabloids? Oh,
hmm,
darling boy, don't worry about it. Oh, darling boy, why are you reading those? Oh, darling boy, this is what the tabloids do.
hmm. That's what they do to Harry, but you don't let
But
them do that to nobody else
you know
except
what,
my wife.
Diva? Except my wife. But I came up with a conclusion. I honestly think, this is just my opinion, I think that the royal palace and the royal family works with the media to keep their name circulated, to keep them popular, to keep them, to keep people in the know of them. So that is why they allow whatever to just circulate in the media, because they're working alongside the media to keep them relevant.
That part. So they endured a lot, being in that royal family. And listen, so they eventually get married, but it was an issue. Listen, it was an issue with him, if he could, he had to ask permission to wear a beard on his face to his own wedding.
To his own wedding.
He had to get permission on what he was going to wear, his uniform or whatever, at the wedding. His brother was mad at him because he got to wear his beard, but the brother could not. The brother was mad at him because what he was wearing, and but he couldn't do the same thing. Come on, you the older brother, get your life. But
But
that's
the
how much
older
they run
brother
their
that has
life.
the older brother that's always normally had his way, that's always been in control, that's always, in the front line. Now here my little brother go being able to do something, and now I got an attitude. It was just like I never understand it. I really don't understand William. I really don't.
I don't either. And you know what, Keisha? Camilla is said to be rubbing elbows with the tabloids and the news media. She's probably the reason for most of the negative headlines. Got me thinking, especially now that she has a seat at the table. I saw your other piece of
Mhm.
your thing. Let me tell you something, Keisha. Not only is Camilla, it's his own daddy too. His daddy is whipped. Okay. Camilla got him wrapped around her finger. And they don't care what bad press gets out about Harry as long as it doesn't impact them.
Mhm.
They
That's why
messy.
I said
And yes,
they working with the paparazzi. They working with them.
they absolutely working with the paparazzi. So they got married, guys. And let's fast forward. When they had Archie, now tell me this is not going to hurt somebody, right? When they had Archie, let me show you what one reporter put out about them. Hold on one second. I'm going to look at it, trying to find where I put this one at.
Excuse me.
Okay. The tabloid put out, this picture right here, saying the royal family leaves, the royal baby leaves the hospital, and they got a couple and they got a monkey. That's what they put out about them. They put this picture, the true picture, then they had this picture next to it saying the royal baby leaves the hospital, and it's a monkey. Do you I mean, you don't have to believe nothing that's coming out of Harry and Meghan's mouth, but can you understand now what they went through? I had my baby, one of the happiest
Every
times of my life. Go
single
ahead. I'm sorry,
day.
Roya.
Oh
Hmm.
no, I was just saying every single day, you wake
Hmm.
up and this is what you see. Now, mind you, she just had a baby. We are in the age of, as we know, mental health issue is a real
Yep.
thing. Postpartum has always been a real. I mean, mental health has too, but these are things that are more prevalent now to our society, and this is what you plaster across the front page of the news. This is what you plaster on the internet for my family to wake up to. I mean, it's just it's the disrespect and the fact that nobody in the royal family, nobody in the palace, nobody in parliament thought to do anything about it. It speaks to the racism that we have been talking about for England for centuries and how it still exists today.
Hmm. And so it says the BBC radio presenter was fired after he posted racist tweets on social media about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry newborn baby. But you know what though? It's already out there. He got fired, and I bet you right now he's working somewhere else.
Because what about all the other stuff that he was putting up that was just as
That
racist?
part. That part. And so I will say this to back up a little bit. Megan had to tell, so maybe I am connecting with you, Royaire. Megan had to tell, I don't do that. Megan had to tell Harry, like, you need to go get counseling.
Hmm.
She had to tell him, you need to get counseling because you never really dealt with what happened with your mom.
Hmm.
And for the first time, he went to a therapist and he started to work through. And let me tell you the saddest thing when he talked about talking to the therapist. He said that, you know what, if he let go of this thing he was holding on with his mom, then he
Hmm.
felt like he was really going to lose her. Like if he didn't
Hmm.
hold on to this pain, if he didn't hold on to that void, if he didn't hold on to that emptiness, if he released it and let it go, he felt like then he would be letting his mother go too.
And that would make so much sense because, as he said, he was so young, he didn't have a lot of memories of his mom. So, what he had, he was just trying to do his best to hold on to. But as Miss Buddy DeBodge told us the other day, when you
Secrets
hold on
keep
to
you
stuff,
sick. Secrets keep you sick. Secrets keep you sick. And you know what? Maybe that's why he had the right to spare.
hello,
Let the secrets out. Cause I ain't gonna stay
hello,
sick for y'all.
I'm
I ain't
not.
gonna stay
Mm-mm.
sick for y'all.
Because I think when we think of sick, we think of like a physical, outward, mm-mm. There's a sick that's inside of you that will cause you to be restless. There's a
Hmm.
sick inside of you that will cause you just to be mean and hateful. There are different types of sickness, and you got to do whatever you got to do to release that stuff off of you. And I definitely think Diva, the book, was his release. He said, I got to let this stuff out. He has been holding on this for 30 plus years. 30
Hmm.
plus years. Something
Hmm.
had to break.
So they had the baby, and at some point they decide, you know what, we got this is too much. This is breaking the both of us. We're not going to
Hmm.
survive this because when Megan was pregnant, she didn't want to be here anymore. I got to watch the
Hmm.
words that I use. She didn't want to be here anymore, and he had to talk to her and say like, okay, we can't do this.
Mm-mm.
We can't do this. Like, so she just didn't want to be here anymore. She was dealing with her own mental health. She
Mm.
was dealing with her own mental health. Go ahead. Yes.
And that is where I see that Prince Harry's strength kicked in. I feel like that she was his strength for so long that he finally realized, okay, I have to be the strength for my wife to really do something to push her past this space because I've seen my mom in this space. I've seen
Right.
other people in this space and I've seen them not make it out. So now my wife has pushed me. It's my time to push my wife out of this season, out of this place so that we can continue to grow stronger together. I'm going to stand on my point that Megan, she did it for Harry. She did it.
She did it. So they decided, like, you know what, this is too much. We got to get out of here. And Robin, if you want to come up, anybody want to come up and talk about the book with us, you're welcome. Hit the link. If I need to throw the link out there again, I will. They was like, we got to get out of here. So everything within the royal family, us, if we want to go to whatever college, we just go to that college. We're not asking nobody. We just go. Let me just mute you for a minute, Robin. We just go to that college. We want to go on vacation. We book our trip. No, with them, everything has to be come up from high above, and you got to get it. You got to get a
Scheduled
yes.
and booked and cleared, okay?
That
Scheduled,
part.
booked and cleared.
That part. So when they decided they was going to leave or whatever, they like it was just too much, but they wanted to keep their titles. They wanted to keep their security. They had some requirements that they want. When he went to his dad, the dad was like, "No, you got to write that up. You can't just have no casual conversation with me. Talk about this, what you want to do." And he said, "And it's going to take 30 days before you even get an answer. So go over there and chill. Go chill, but write it down." And Harry's like, "I don't want to write. No, you got to write it down. This got to be formal. I don't know what you think this is. Yeah, I'm your dad, but write that down. And then we got to send it up above and get the answer back." So he wrote it down, and the only one that was privy to that information was Daddy and some other people. But all of a sudden, the tabloids hear about it.
Mm.
And then they try to act like Meghan and Harry just left and didn't even tell Nana, didn't even tell Grandma, didn't even tell Mama, the Queen. So they try to act like, look at these, they savages. They want to make them out to be savages, right? They so mean. They just leaving here. They not even going to tell the Queen. Let me tell you something. Just messy. Just messy. Okay, talking about they fleed and didn't even tell Grandma like that. Who does? Like, come on now.
It was the lies for me, Diva.
Yeah.
The continuous lies over and over and over again. It was the playing Harry in his face as if he couldn't have picked up and left. How often did Charles just pick up and leave to go cheat on Diana with his mistress?
Look at this. Look at this. They didn't even tell the Queen. Come on now. The Queen, then listen, then you can't do nothing without getting it approved through the Queen. He had to ask the Queen, can he wear his beard to his own wedding? His beard, because with the armed forces there, that's not part of the code. He had to ask that. And then the tiara that Meghan wore for her wedding, okay, the Queen gave that to her, but they put a whole spin on that, saying that Meghan was a diva and a brat and she demanded this, that, and the other. Now, she couldn't have got that tiara without getting it from the Queen. They need to stop.
Ain't no way.
There ain't no
Ain't no
way.
way.
Ain't no way. Okay. Robin, what do you want to add to this conversation?
I want to start where I began before. Every time we have talked about Harry and Meghan, I have championed them. I've always believed they have been treated poorly. I have been a proponent of them telling their own story, because no matter what, the folks that were going to come after them, the paparazzi, not only would the paparazzi come after them, they were hunted by the paparazzi and sent by the royal family. One
That
of the
part.
things that was very, very, very glaring is, and I'm going to use my own memory, I remember when they became working royals, how well received they were wherever they went. And they overshadowed every other royal, save maybe the Queen herself. They were engaging, endearing. They were, they seemed earnest, honest. They really looked to believe in the missions that they went to accomplish and to represent the royals. And Charles couldn't stand it, and Kate and Will couldn't stand it, and they fed a lot of information to the press. I always believe that, and Harry told us in this book, and it's a shame. There's also just the jealousy was, it was so multi-layered, because it wasn't just about how well they were received by the public. It also had to do with Harry knowing where his lot was, where his place was. And he, why he didn't have the freedom by law, in his heart and his mind, he was going to live his life. And he took steps to do that because he knew he's never going to be king. So let him live. And at every turn, that William didn't want his brother to have the freedom he didn't have, because he had to walk lockstep in everything that's in every book that was written, what you got to do as a royal. The daddy too, being old as hell, having to ask his mother if he can marry the mistress that we've all known he's had forever. And everybody had issues. And with the cutting off of their security, with Charles saying we can't afford to pay for your life with Meghan or her as a royal, it was really, I think, a power play to try to keep him in the place they wanted him to be. And
That's
he
what
was like,
me and
no,
Royaires said.
not today, devil, not today, neck, not today, ankle, not today, never.
Reset that. Hold on 1 second. Pit Dog. So you said you found the book to be nasty, talking too much. You know what though? We gotta talk. We okay with different opinions over here, but did you read the whole book? I think somebody else said it earlier too. I thought it was going to be more salacious than it was. He really didn't dog the family out. He just kind of told his truth.
Yeah, I'm confused on this comment because I didn't find anything nasty about this book. I really feel like that he definitely could have dig much deeper in the characters of this so-called family that he has, because this is to me just the surface of how they treat him. I can't
Yeah,
imagine the real of like actually being in the situation, first of
yeah.
all, and then secondly how it actually makes him as a human being really feel. I mean, just imagine putting yourself in his shoes. I mean, let's even take the royal out of it all. Just being treated like this by your father, the only parent that you have left, being treated like this by the brother that you have always looked up to, and knowing that your mom has always wanted you both to have a relationship with each other and really love one another, because that's not what the royal family comes from. So Diana was really trying to give them a, a real sense of life, and the royal family just took it all away. Took it all away.
So, Auntie Robin, to go to what you said, it was a power move. They felt like, okay, we gonna tell them y'all ain't getting no security. So now where they gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
They thought like cutting saying you're not getting security was going to be like they was gonna make the move like, oh my God, well then I guess we gotta stay because we
Got
can't
to
go out
stay.
there with no security. But
Can't go.
Harry really told Meghan at first, I highly doubt if they cut off our security because Prince Andrew still got his security and he a whole hot mess.
Hmm. And look at what had happened.
Whole hot mess. But they snatched out, okay, they snatched out that security. And then at one point, Daddy called Harry saying, all right, so I guess they felt like, oh, the security didn't stop them. Then he called them and told them, you getting cut off, your money is done. You ain't getting no more money. So now they was trying to force them to come back into the royal family. They cut
Mhm.
off security. And when Harry tried to call and get their own security, one company told him $6 million a year. And he had to hang up
Mm-hmm.
the phone. Like, I ain't got no $6 million a year to give us no security.
Mm-mm.
So that's why they did it. They did it to force them to come begging for bread back at the royal family, talking about let us back in. And then once they would have got back in, they could have controlled the narrative again and had them shut up
But
and
this
let
is
the
what they do.
paparazzi still, yeah, let the paparazzi still drag them for filth.
Hmm.
They were
Yeah,
messy.
yeah. This is what the royal family does, though. This is what they've been doing for centuries. They make people bend until you break to what they want you to do. And unfortunately, I feel like that they try to bend Diana so much that they actually broke her, literally.
Mm-hmm.
or they forced her to break in the way that they saw fit. If y'all get what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. Pit Dog, no, it is okay. You know, I don't have no problem with a different opinion here. But the thing is, I'm wondering, did you read the whole book? That's all I'm asking. Chat with me in the comments. Did you read the whole book? Because I feel like if you read the whole book, because you know, if you go back in my videos, I was like, they need to shut their mouth. I said, why did he write this book?
You sure did. I was trying to fight you all the way.
You was fighting
Now
me all
you
the
get it?
way.
Now do you get it, Diva?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I ain't gonna lie. I do.
Amen.
When you hear his story, and listen, it's his story to tell.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
and let's be clear. The heat they was getting from the paparazzi, it can break almost anyone. When you want to say, when I had my baby, the most happiest time in a person's life, and you gonna put on there that the royal baby leaves the hospital, and it's a picture with a monkey. We know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We know
And,
what
and
you're
you know what
saying.
else? And
Go
you know what
ahead.
else I found interesting about the birth of Archie was that they also faked that the press, the palace and the press in cahoots even faked that. I mean, they told us they had the baby, they left, they were back at Frogmore for that night, but they had to do this whole photo op days later. It was terrible. They, you know what? I have so much respect for Harry. I know that he has lived a traumatized life. I know that he's stuck in a he's going to stay stuck in that space because I get it when you just don't you all he knows to hang on to is the pain that he felt when his mother left, and it's never been resolved or addressed, and not a lot of his own self has been nurtured. I like him. I like Harry. I support him. I have great disdain, dislike, and disrespect for the monarchy and the way that they do business. They those people, those three men that they spoke of, the bee, the wasp, and what was the other one?
I forgot at this moment.
But those three, they were horrible, and I believe that they're the ones who were responsible for leaking Prince Harry and Meghan put together their plan to step down as full-time working royals, and the degree to which they were so much detail that was in the press. I think that they gave it to them. I really
I
do
think
think that they
Daddy
played
did.
it.
Oh yeah, Camilla and Daddy did that for sure.
I think Camilla and Daddy did that.
Camilla and Daddy did that for sure. Yeah. Because you
I,
got to think, Auntie Robin, you got to remember now, Queen Elizabeth is now, Prince Philip is gone on. Queen Elizabeth is kind of not doing so well. So
Mm-hmm.
what's next? King Charles is coming up in place. And he's got to do whatever he can do to make himself look good to the public, and also also Queen Camilla. He's got
Mm.
to make Camilla look good as well. So they're doing whatever they can do to trash everybody's name, make everybody look bad, to make them look like they're the best human beings. Real quick, let me jump off subject. Ebony, 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 please don't let me have to check you on this live in love, because what we not gonna sit up here and do is try to make it seem like Diana was just this horrible woman, and that she didn't try to make her family work, that she didn't try to keep her family together, and that she walked into this relationship cheating on him. As she said once and a million other times, when she got into this relationship, there was already a third in it. Technically, she was the third, if we want to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because
that's
he was
that
fooling
part.
with her
That's the truth.
before and after Diana. So let's just
That
keep it
part.
clear.
That part.
But I love you.
But I mean, Ebony and Pit Dog are connecting. We, and like you said, Pit Dog, we just see things differently. That's all. And we gotta move forward with the fact that we see things differently. Diana wanted her family. She wanted her husband to love her and only her. He knew
Mm-hmm.
he wanted Camilla before he even walked down the aisle with Diana. And so did
Mm-hmm.
everybody in that royal family. But because
Mm-hmm.
of appearances, they made
Mm-hmm.
him walk down the aisle with Diana. She
Come
had his
on.
2 kids, and we listen. And from the minute she was pumping out the 2 kids, Camilla, was doing what she was doing with somebody
Mm.
else's husband.
Can I add something about that? By the
Yes,
way,
you can.
I'm reading this other book called Harry. I actually got it by mistake when I was supposed to get in this book. And one of the things that I learned in Harry is, yeah, I know it's funny, is that when Harry was born, Prince Charles was very disappointed because he wanted a daughter, and that was well known. So imagine being born and being the disappointment that you weren't the daughter that your father wanted. That's a whole nother layer that is not in this book, but just put in the back of your head.
Yeah, you know what though? In this book though, the dad clearly knew, like, Harry was the spare, and he pretty much told Diana, not only is your job done, and in my mind, he told her, so I'm done with you too, cause
Mm-hmm.
cause it is what it is. Our work is done here. You done gave me the heir to our legacy. Um, thanks, and goodbye.
Yep.
He was, and his heart was never with Diana.
Ever, never.
Mm-mm,
Never. His heart was with
mm-mm,
Camilla. And to
mm-mm.
me, you know what? She's not even. Let's move on, because I ain't got time
Yeah,
for,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Mm-mm.
because you go, because you know how I get worked up with the side piece.
Yeah, that's why I
No,
had to stop and calm down myself too.
yeah, yeah, I
You
got
know.
to breathe here. Let me drink my water, okay? Yeah, because I cannot right now. So, anyway, they leave. And they tell in the book how he tells in the book how they came to be at Tyler Perry's house, which was
Yes.
like a
Mhm.
full circle moment. I was talking to Royaires. It's like crazy, right? So
Yeah.
he ended up. First they went to what is his name? And listen, he be everywhere. Don't
Elton John.
Elton John. He always in somebody. They in the midst of something.
But he had a very special relationship with Princess Diana.
He
They had a
did.
Right. They
very
were
special
besties.
relationship together, and I think that Harry kind of built on that relationship that he had with his mom, and it was just a great memory of his mom to have Elton or to have him around. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was.
You are correct, but I feel like Elton John was on Beverly Hills. Elton John is just popping up. I'm like, when are we not going to hear his name? He's saving the dogs, the animals, the peoples. Okay. So, but they come to talk about how they were at Tyler Perry's house, which was a very nice story. When they told Tyler Perry the story, everything that was going on, and he was like, "Y'all can come stay at my house, and I got security." So
Mm-hmm.
for a moment, they didn't have to think about this astronomical bill of how we gonna pay for security, where we gonna go. Your family is cutting us off. Like, what are we gonna do? Okay, and it's not like they're cutting us off and we're just regular people. They're cutting us off, and we're Meghan
Ooh.
and Prince Harry. So they get to go to Tyler Perry's house, and what Tyler Perry said was, because they was like, "Why are you helping us? Like, why?" Right? And what Tyler Perry said is that your mom, my mom loved your mom, and he said, "My mom passed. I'm still missing her, but my mom loved your mom." He said, "Your mom came to Harlem. My mom met your mom, fell in love with your mom, and that's how Meghan and Harry are getting a lot of grace."
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? A lot of times, you ever hear, like, I don't know, Ray, if you ever heard this, but they're like, people would say, like, "I'm living off the prayers of my grandparents."
Yes.
I promise you, a lot of my blessings and a lot of things that happen in my life, it's the prayers of my grandparents and my parents. You on mute, Roy? Come off of mute.
The prayers of the righteousness that have availeth much. That's them grandpa. Come on, that's them grandma. Listen, them prayers that was getting too high to the sky for real, for real. Because they
That
didn't
part.
play. They didn't play.
That part. Yeah, Camilla was always part of the marriage, and you know what? Not just Camilla, it's all of these people that don't know how to mind. Keep your nose out of married people business, and not just your nose.
But she couldn't do that because her whole body was in a whole marriage, somebody else's marriage that she didn't have no business being in,
That
and
part.
she was married as well. So
That
she
part.
was on a double whammy.
That part.
You cheating
She
on
was
your
she was
husband and
doing the
cheating on
TJ Holmes and TJ Holmes and that
and
chick.
Amy Robot.
That part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Mama Misha. He was never committed to Diana. Like ever.
Never.
Yeah. Wasn't Diana groomed for this? Okay. So go ahead, Auntie Rob. I don't know if I cut you off. I got emotional. Go ahead. What was you
No,
saying?
you didn't cut me off. You did not cut me off at all.
Yeah. She was a 19-year-old virgin when she married King.
She called Mo.
I can't. I can't. I cannot. I cannot.
Ooh, child. I ain't got no love for Camilla. Like
None.
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 Well, I don't
And
even
None.
never
like
will.
her.
And never
She
will.
no. She had no respect for Charles and Diana's marriage. She had
None.
no respect for the children. The one thing that they asked Charles to do, and I guarantee you, I know Charles went and told Camilla. He told them, he said, Dad, please do not marry Camilla because the
Yep.
paparazzi will compare them to mom. And what did Dad do? Ran over there and told Camilla what they said. And Camilla said, just because they said that, we gonna get married. And the
That
next week
part.
they was married.
That part. That part.
Trash.
They said we'll embrace her, we'll love her. Well, she could sit down and eat the dinner with us at the table. Just don't marry her. What'd he do?
Look, continue to live in sin like you've been doing.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
That part. That part. I'm just trying to
Because
tell
the
you.
only reason they got married, and this is outside the book, only reason they got married is because he was getting ready to become, once you're the king, you're the head of the church, the England church, and so he couldn't have a little whore on the side and be the king, so he had to marry the whore.
That part.
She
Yeah.
gets on my nerves. Let's move on.
So yeah. So I mean, overall though, let me see what it ended it you know what the ending was kind of sad. Like they went to Diana's gravesite, Meghan and Harry. He kind of talked to his mom, she talked to his mom. I'm overall though, I promise you, it's worth the read. It's
Yeah,
worth
it was
the
a very
read.
bittersweet ending. Very
Yes,
bittersweet. Very
yes,
bittersweet. That's the perfect way to explain it.
yeah,
But it put a closing on the question mark of Harry for me.
yeah. That's a
What
good.
was
I
the
like
question for
that.
you?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Auntie Robin?
Exactly what was the question mark that you had, and tell us what the answer
There's
was.
just always been a question mark over the royal family as a whole to me because they've always been so secretive. I've always kind of wondered why. And I think I said this during our review. Harry always reminded me of Princess Diana, the dared one, the one that would always just kind of go out on the limb. But every time he would go out on the limb, he was always pushed back by the royals. And so I feel like this time he actually went out on the limb and he just took the dive. He took the deep dive. He let his story out. He explained himself, which that's why I say he answered the question mark for me. I understand his thought process now. I understand why a lot of the things that he he decided to do them. It just makes sense. It makes sense, his life, his story, and the legacy that his mom had left behind, how he's continuing to carry it. As Diva said, I think it was last week you said it, Diva, literally when Princess Diana passed away, it was like her spirit jumped out of her and went directly into him. I mean, he is an exact reflection of her work, literally. Everything that she believed in, everything she stood for, it's Harry. It's Harry. And I think that William knows it, and I think he's jealous of it.
100%. I found I actually was really emotional reading this last bit, and I actually honestly cried a few times. I was like, it was a lot of things. It was sad, but it was also enlightening. But the one thing that the revelation that came to Harry when he was having that tussle with Wills,
Mm,
when he said, what did he say on mommy's life, on our mom, on
Mm-hmm.
their mother's life?
mm.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that, he said, and I'm going to pull a diva. Let me paraphrase. He said, "Oh, you mother flower, now you are manipulative." He said,
Yep,
"But you
Jesus.
know what? This
Mm.
is it. All bets are off. I have,"
yep.
and I felt like that was the aha moment of aha moments. And he said, "These chains are forever broken."
He said we see each other is what he
That
said.
part.
Yes.
That part. That part. Because he said I didn't even feel it. He said before we knew we would never just use that just so freely, like
Mm-hmm.
on mama's life or whatever the case may be. And he said when he used it, I didn't believe it. He knew I didn't believe it. And he said I didn't even touch him or fight him back. Like, yo,
Hmm.
William is a whole piece of work. He's a
Hmm.
whole piece of work. And I see him, right? And I'm giving him the side eye. Like, this is your brother at the end of the day. And you could have said to your dad, have mercy on Harry. Let him do what he do. I'm still going, you and I are still going to be in our position. You and I are still here. Don't let our brother be out there uncovered. That's the other reason why I really connected to Bunny the Bodge. You know what
Mm.
she said? And she said it with the quickness when I said, well, who stood by you when you was out there? She said, my kids.
Yes.
She didn't have to think. She was like, my kids. And so this is your own brother and your father. And you can't even get no them to stand by you. They could have set you free to the world and stood by you. We waste money on a whole lot of stuff. They could have had you that you keep your security and your money.
You
And
know,
it's funny, their titles were stripped away, but he uses his title.
how about when, and you know what, speaking to that, when he said, when is someone in this family going to break free and live?
That part.
That
Mm.
that one
Mm.
that hit me hard.
That part.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, wait, let me let Lorraine in. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Lorraine, how are you?
Hi, Diva. I'm a
How,
longtime follower, and I'm very real. I just think this is my first time ever coming up. I'm
yes.
usually in the comments giving my feedback, but I
Mhm.
want to share a couple of different perspectives on a
Okay.
few things. So there were some things that um, I'm from Barbados, which used to be a Commonwealth. We just broke
Yes.
away from the
Independent.
Commonwealth last
Yeah.
year. Megan's from
Yes.
a Commonwealth. She lives in Canada. There were certain things she said that she didn't know anything about the monarchy. Coming from a Commonwealth, you do know about the monarchy.
Mm,
The buildings are named behind them when they're
mm,
coming.
Mm-hmm.
But as a little kid, if Princess Margaret would come to Barbados, they would make us line up outside in our uniforms and make sure we're spick and span. So these sort of things, living in a Commonwealth, you just generally know.
No.
The
Mm-hmm.
fact that she said things like she didn't know what a walk and see was, where the princes walk around and greet people. That's very common. Coming from a Commonwealth, those things are just innate to the Commonwealth, and you kind of know those things. Now, in regard to some of the traditions, the things like giving birth and coming out of the hospital door, Megan didn't follow the traditions. And anytime you go into something and you don't follow the traditions, you're going to have to realize there are going to be consequences for those changes. Not saying that what people did to her was valid. Putting a picture of a monkey was, of course, very racist.
mhm.
But she went against the traditions. With that comes backlash. It would outrage the British public because for hundreds of years, they've had these traditions in place.
I agree with you. So you know what? Before you carry on, I want to say there's a lot I agree with you with. I didn't. I said it. I think in the beginning, like I didn't believe that she just didn't know who this man was. I didn't believe that. I also am in agreement with you, right? If you are going to go into, and even outside of the royals, right? If you're going to go into a family and you're of one religion and they're of another, like, come on now, you got to make this make sense here, right? And so, yes, if the tradition is that the royal family, for the people, they come and bring that baby on the steps at the birth. I'm sorry, chick. We're going to need to see Archie. We're going
Right.
to need
And not only did she not, she went to a different hospital. She didn't go to the hospital that the royals generally go to. She went to a different hospital, and the viewing of the press for the baby was done at the palace when generally it's done at the hospital. So this agreement has been in place for hundreds of years. And you come in and you change an agreement that has always been there, there's going to be backlash for that.
Yeah, they're agreeing with you. They're agreeing with you. I agree. They say, and Lynn said, I agree 100%. And I do agree with you. There are things, I'm gonna let Sheila in, then I'll come back to you where you Lorraine, you are right. There are things that she wanted to shake up,
Yes.
and it was against the rules and regulations. And
I don't think it was a shakeup, though. I don't think it was a
It
No.
shakeup.
is. Royaires hundreds of
What do you
years.
do when
But that's
someone is
tradition,
in
not. I'm sorry.
wait,
tradition?
okay, wait,
Yes,
hold
but
on,
what do
guys.
you
Wait, hold
do?
on right here. Hold on right here, because I do want to let Sheila in. I'm gonna let you back in. And hold on, Lorraine, 1 second. So Sheila, go ahead. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Okay, what I add to this conversation, I read the book and it was sad how they treated him. I get the traditions, but did you also understand in the book, if you read the book, that a lot of the stuff that she did incorrectly was told to her to do?
Yes.
So, how is she breaking tradition when she is told to do those things?
No,
It was
but
almost like she was set up for failure. She was set up to,
Sheila, a question. You're going into this family, this monarchy.
I
What are
understand
some of the
that.
things? If you're going to a job, you do the research. You're going into a monarchy. You're not doing the research. That's one of the first
I
things to do.
understand that, but she had the best resource handy, and that was the royal family, and that was her husband. What they were telling her to do, like the queen told her to go ahead and get in the car first. That broke protocol because the queen should always enter first. But it made her look bad. Do you understand that it was a
Yes,
setup?
I did read that in the book. I did read that in the book, but this is a little different. This is a
Did you
long
read the book?
standing. That's a
I understand that. I understand that's tradition. Traditionally, she was supposed to do certain things, but if she was told to do them, she was following along what she was told to do. And
Mm-hmm.
here in America, that we understand when there is a bias. And because she was not what they call blue blood, she was treated as such. She was told to do such. So it made it look, is that me making that noise?
Yes, yes,
It is me.
yeah.
That's weird. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to
There's
try to go out and come back in.
Try to come out and come back in.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave and come back in. I
Okay,
don't know
leave and
why.
come back in.
But
So, okay, and then we'll bring you back up. Okay, so Royer, speak to Lorraine is saying it. I mean, this is some legit. Maybe that wasn't Sheila. Maybe that's
okay.
you,
Let
Lorraine.
me put myself on mute.
Yeah, put yourself. Okay, she was there was some legit things that she's saying there
Lorraine.
to you. Yeah, like not to you, Royer, but there's some legit things she's saying there. There's some traditions.
Okay, yeah. So as far as the traditions, yes. And this is just my opinion. Now, at this point, Megan is pregnant. We're already married into the family, and y'all have dogged me out and treated me like trash since day one. Why would I go and do what you guys have asked me to do when anytime I've asked you to protect me, anytime I've asked you to protect my family, anytime I've asked you to stop the tap, you don't do anything that I've asked you to do that's going to keep my safety. But something as little as taking a picture, you want me to go and stand outside and do
Ooh.
all of this? I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but Royer, it's not as little as taking a picture, because the monarchy has to be transparent to the British public,
But
and
they're
that's part of
not.
their
at all.
transparency, right? So
They're
it's
not
to us
transparent
as
though.
Americans looking in, it seems like okay, it's just a picture, but it's part.
No.
We have to look at it at the eyes of British people. We're looking at the eyes of Americans.
Not necessarily. I think that it's unfair to expect or to lay blame and say that we don't have an idea or aren't open to the traditions. Can you please your scrambling again? That we aren't open and aware of what's happening in other countries. If we sitting here in the Bronx, New York, I could see the nastiness and the madness of the British press and the royals and how they treated Meghan and how they treated Meghan and Harry. Exactly one time only do I recall when Harry was first dating Meghan when it came, when it became public and she started to get all this backlash. One time, the Queen put out a statement saying, "Can you leave Harry's girlfriend alone?" That is the one and only time they ever came to their aid. From that moment, after that, everybody seems to have given them holy hell.
Sheila, the thank you for the super chat first of all, and the link is pinned to the top. You want to know how you called in. He's thinking a lot is being talked about Megan. Just get your goat. But what we want you to understand is everybody has a different perspective, but you can definitely come in. Thank you for the super chat, but it's pinned to the top, and I threw the link in again. So what we got to understand is for everybody, right? There's many layers to this. And sometimes I think when we want to protect someone, we don't want to address the role that they played in the situation, right? And there's a role that Megan played also. And the role that she played is the understanding that every girlfriend that Harry had before her, the paparazzi was on their booty. In the book, and we didn't mention it, one of his previous girlfriends, even though he was married, the paparazzi continued to follow her so much so that she unalived herself.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you got a woman that no longer is dating Harry, and this is to Megan, right? You have a woman that is no longer dating Harry, and they're still harassing her, and now you're married to him. What do you think's going to happen? What do you expect? You have the monarchy that didn't cover your husband before he became your husband. But now you think as a couple, they're going to care and cover the both of y'all. Come on, you got to make this thing make sense. So she is putting out there, or they are putting out there together, well, nobody's protecting my wife. Well, Harry, this is respectfully, let's be clear. They never protected you. The whole time you was in school, when you was smoking, when you was drugging, when you got into your trouble, they clearly came from the top and they said, let it go out there. Let it be out there. We don't care. Why didn't they care? Because as long as they look better, they didn't care what was said about him. So we got to understand where Lorraine has a point here. We're going to talk. We got to talk. They never covered Harry way before Meghan came along. So why would we think that together as a couple, they all of a sudden going to wake up and say, we care about the both of them and we're going to cover the both of them now? They was never
So
going to
if
do
that's
that.
the case, what is the big deal about them following tradition, whether or not?
Because you know what, here's the thing though, Royaire. If I go and marry a husband and he is Muslim and I am not, right? Let's just say he's Muslim and I'm a Christian or whatever the case may be. Now I know I'm marrying this Muslim. And when I go marry him, I think I'm gonna come in there church. They call it, what do they call it? I can't come in there
Their
with my
mosque.
shirt,
In the
I
mosque.
can't come in there with my skirt right underneath my behind, my boobs hanging out, and thinking they're gonna respect me and say, well, why y'all mad?
But that's the thing, they've been not respecting her. That's my point.
But my point is, Royaire, they never respected him.
Yeah, but that definitely don't make it right because they didn't. But I think he did not realize how much they did not respect him until she came into the picture
There
because
you go.
he was used to it.
Hmm.
Yes.
Everything that happened, he was used to it from day one. Can you
Yeah.
imagine the idea that you were born into a family and your lineage is you're a spare leg, you're a spare. Your life doesn't matter. And the sad part about it, I don't think if his mother was alive, he would not have been treated as badly. And I get tradition, and I have studied the British monarchy, so I get that. But it does not make it right the way they treated her. And you cannot disregard that they gave them on several occasions, if not all occasions, misinformation of how she should behave, what she should wear, different things. She was given misinformation on on purpose.
But Sheila, can I
Yes.
add
Let
this
me
to the
say this to
conversation? Wait,
Sheila,
I'm gonna let
because
her in. Wait, hold on, Roy. I'm gonna let you in. But Sheila, can I add this to the conversation?
Sure,
Before Megan came along, they gave Harry misinformation. Remember, they had
exactly.
him going to the costume party in the Nazi outfit. Come on
Yes.
now. If we gonna talk, we gotta talk.
I,
So
I,
they all Megan did was inherit
how they
everything.
treated him.
That part. Thank you for connecting
But
with me.
in I get all of that, but it's still it made it wrong, and then it made it wronger
it
to
didn't
do that
justify it, is
to
what
her.
she's trying to
Yeah,
say.
it did.
It
Yeah,
didn't
it did
justify
not
it.
justify how they did it, and the fact that she didn't follow protocol. Excuse my language. F protocol when it comes to my life, and you're not protecting me, and you know that there are snipers that are set out to kill me. So
Yes.
I would give two darns about whatever. And I understand that if you marry into a situation, because my husband and I worked for the same agency before he retired. He could not be my direct boss. He was a he was a director. He could not be my direct boss. Understood that. We purposely would not work in the same building. We purposely, when we had in services, because of his level, sometimes we rolled together, sometimes we did not, because he may have been asked to do something else.
Hmm.
So I understood there was a role I had to play in that. So I get that part of it. So you marry in your husband or whatever, you got to follow along. But I guarantee you, if it had been my life, my husband wouldn't have went along with it. I wouldn't have went along with it. It, the idea that someone sends you a monkey, they put a monkey in that is the most degrading, disrespectful thing. You look at this young lady, you look at Megan, when you look at her, you do not see African American. Okay? You don't see it. However, the fact that someone knew that and they would say, a monkey, your child, you a monkey. I, I I wish I would stand on the step for you to take a picture. They called her all kinds of names. They said she was fat. And the way Kate looked after she had her babies, we don't know. They probably binded her. You know, back in the day, they would bind women's stomachs, so it was in place. Maybe they didn't do the same for her.
So I don't want to go too far down this road, but Sheila, you mentioned that you said she doesn't look like she can be, African American. Um,
No, she doesn't. But I mean, she. If you looked at her, you would, unless someone told you, you wouldn't know that she was biracial. Is what I'm saying to you.
I don't know, Sheila.
However, however, the fact that someone knew that she was, even though we all knew she wasn't hiding that, but this is what you put. Why didn't you put a picture of a giraffe? Because newborn babies, they put up little giraffes or something like that. You put up a monkey, so you can't even justify doing that. A monkey.
Well, I think it was well known that
She was
she was
biracial.
biracial, because before the baby was born, they
They
was
were talking
asking like
about
what
what
color the
color the
baby is
skin
going
of the
to
baby
come
gonna
out.
be.
So I
Yes,
think
that.
it
I,
was well known. But to say, I mean, I have family members that range from, they look like they could be biracial, but they not.
right. Well,
And so, but what I'm saying is, to me, she looked like she can. If even if I didn't know, she looked like she got features to me.
right, but what I'm saying to you is, she knew, and the public knew that she was biracial. But the fact that they wanted to make sure this is what the world seen of her, a monkey, that alone enough is enough to piss someone off. It's just like my husband, one of his uncles, because he's doing his history and have been doing it for over 30 years. And he had an uncle that later passed. I mean, not passed, but passed for white.
Mm-hmm.
But they were mixed. They were a mixed race because way back in the day, you know how slavery went.
Miscegenation.
Yes. So his father, his they're black,
Mm-hmm.
but one of his father's brothers later, went off and passed. Nobody to this day, no one knows what happened to him.
So April says, so give me a minute, guys. April says that's not why she didn't take the picture. She didn't take the picture because they called her ghetto, and they called her bully the K, and they called
Yes,
her baby a monkey. So she's saying it, April's saying it really didn't have anything to do with tradition. She was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And at that point, by the time she had the baby, she had dealt with so much of the negativity. She just didn't even want to stand on those steps. Now that I can understand and get. She broke tradition because she was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm calling her all kinds of names and just accusing her of all kinds of things. I have to stand by this though, and I'll let you in, Royaire, then I'll come back around to Auntie Robin and Lorraine. I'm standing by this. Um, Something to be said, if you're going into a situation and you already know they don't treat your husband well, and for all of a sudden you just look in the mirror and think just because you are you, now they're going to treat you and your husband well. No disrespect, but you're a little delusional.
but let me say this, Diva. I don't think she realized they were treating him bad. We, as the world, did not realize that they were treating him bad. We saw, now hindsight is 2020. We saw the pictures, we saw the things that was happening, but we did not know that it was them that was allowing those pictures, putting them in, telling him to do this. We didn't have a clue. We even
My
though we
husband knew.
knew, even though we knew that he wasn't in the line of the throne, he was second, third, fourth. We knew this, but the fact that he was treated so badly, that was news to, I think, a lot of people, how badly he was treated. And you
I
never.
Sheila, hold on one second. I agree with you, right? But her husband knew.
Yes, he knew. I'm saying he knew, but he accepted it. Do you not realize that he accepted it?
No, I guess what I'm
Sometimes.
trying to say to you, Sheila, is you don't, before you get married to somebody, y'all ain't having pillow talk, nothing. Like,
But
listen,
you know.
babe. Wait, hold on, Sheila. I'm gonna let you in. But listen, babe, you about to marry into this. Let me tell you, all my other girlfriends, they couldn't handle the paparazzi. Are you ready for this? Let me tell you, my brother William and I, we don't really get along. He be playing me out, dogging me out when I went to school. Everything that's in this book, before he married her, they should have had pillow talk and they should have talked about it. Just like the
No,
average
no,
family. Wait, hold
no,
on, wait, I'm gonna
no,
let you in. But just like the
no,
average
ma'am.
family, you gotta have premarital counseling. They want you to talk about the finances. They want you to talk about some barriers. They want you to talk about it's that and the other. So you gonna walk into getting married to somebody? Come on, Best Star
Hey,
BK.
baby.
Wait, hold on, Best Star BK. Shout out for the pillow talk.
Have we
You
been
want to
reading
have
the
this
same book?
But
conversation?
I don't think so,
Have we
Royer.
been
you know
reading the
what,
same
Hold on,
book?
Sheila. Let me go ahead, Royale,
Royale,
because you itching at. Go ahead. Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Royale.
Have we been reading the same book, Diva?
Yes, we have.
Are you sure?
I
Yes,
don't
Cause I
we
believe
think
have.
so.
we're not
No,
even
we
in the
have.
same chapter.
No,
No,
Royale.
y'all,
Let's
Diva then
go,
moved to a whole new
Royale.
book.
No, Royale. Let's go beyond the book for a minute. You
She
trying
on
to
Look,
part
tell
two.
look, I
me
got to sit
you
up
don't have
now. I got to
pillow
sit up
talk with
now.
some date? Y'all don't have pillow talk?
No,
Where's the
not Prince Harry, not Prince Harry. Because remember, we didn't talk about nothing from childhood. We didn't talk about my mom passing. We didn't talk
Exactly.
about the relationship between my dad. We didn't talk about how dad went off and still married the woman that we asked him not to marry. We didn't talk about how Prince William mistreated me all these years, and yet and still I stayed to try to make the relationship work. No, ma'am. Now, what we not gonna do is be on our third part of this book review, and you go back right to the thinking of before the book. No, ma'am. We're
Ooh,
not having that today, Diva. Not today. Not today. We are not gonna put
ooh,
this on Meghan and Harry. That is not. Y'all see
ooh,
how the people
No,
do?
ooh.
Somebody
hold
come
on,
in the
hold on.
room and change their
Best
whole
Royer?
side,
mind in
Royer,
two
no.
I have to
seconds.
stand
Best
with Diva
side
on
B.
this
Listen,
one.
best side BK. Thank
2.2
you, best
seconds.
side BK. Wait, hold on. I'm coming to you, Robin. Thank you, best side BK. Shout out to the pillow talk. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. I know
Hey,
that,
Diva,
right?
I am with you on that pillow talk. That is a necessary thing.
I'm,
That's
I
a
am definitely
necessary
with you
thing.
on
But
the pillow talk. I am,
I,
but that
I
is not
agree
who
with you
Charles
on that
is.
too.
He is
I
not nor he is not, as we said, an everyday family. That is what we do. But this is not an
yeah,
everyday family. They're not.
exactly.
They
And
Oh,
don't
that's
but
all the more
communicate.
reason, Royer.
can I
And
chime
that's
in for
all
a
the
minute?
more reason why I need to prepare you because my family's a whole nother level. We royals. We not
He
everybody
didn't
off the
prepare
little
us
street.
before. Why? That's not
Royer,
what they
can I chime in for
Yeah,
a
do.
minute? Royer, you think about it. Every girlfriend that he lost because of the paparazzi. So if your
But did he
girlfriend is
communicate to
coming in,
them? Did he
you want to make
communicate to
this
them that this
woman
was going to
your
happen?
wife and you want her to stay, what is the first thing you do? You warn her about the thing that made you lose every woman that you in your life.
Come on,
That's
slam
not
the
who
gavel,
he
Royer.
is. No,
but you
y'all
know,
are
you
trying
Slam
to
know
the
force
what?
gavel,
the
Royer.
no, because y'all were trying to force the thinking of us. Y'all were trying to force what we would
Yeah,
do onto
Mm.
him. That is not who
right,
he was. And until Megan came around, he really did not realize, wow, this is why nobody stuck around because of all of this foolishness. She
right,
put him in therapy. She helped him realize that this growing up that you lived in, this is dysfunctional. He thought that this was normalized, what they did.
It
She
was
had to
not.
exactly.
unnormalize the dysfunction in her life. Y'all not gonna sit up here and blame this on Harry and Meghan. Now
No,
that we
but
will not do in part three.
Royer, both women that he loved told him that they couldn't deal with the paparazzi.
But you
Right?
also
The
have
girl
to,
that was from Australia, she said this was not the life for her. She couldn't live this life. And then he lost the other, I forgot her name, the other girl that he lost, she also couldn't deal with the press. And he knew that. It wasn't something he had to discover, it was something they outright told him. So he knew that because of the paparazzi, the women that he loved, um, they left.
right,
So
but
Okay,
you
so
have
what's
to,
Hashtag
your point?
facts. Hashtag
What's your
facts. Wait,
point?
hold on 1 second, guys. Auntie Robin, do you want to say something here?
Um, Madam Diva, I'd like to yield my time to Sheila.
thank you. I appreciate that. I love it. I love it. I love it. But you
Go
have to
ahead, Sheila. And
understand.
Sheila, I'm listening. I'm just grabbing my water. Go ahead.
Okay, this is what he did say this to her as far as the paparazzi was concerned. But you got to realize her thinking because she is a celebrity. So she's used to some attention for people taking photos. So she did not imagine the magnitude of what was explained to her, the different levels of their paparazzi versus how she was treated in America. So the
Mhm.
difference from the previous girlfriends, they didn't have anybody following them. She was
Mhm.
used to it, but she wasn't used to it at that magnitude.
Exactly.
Nobody should be chased, period.
But his mother was chased.
Yes, I know that. And that was a wake up call for him when he started the awakening of what was had happened to his mother
Mhm.
and dealing with it, because he never dealt with it. Like Royal said, he did not deal with it. And then when he saw it being played out again, there's a different perception of what you see as a child versus what you see as a grown adult. So your thinking is a little bit more about developed. You can look back and you can look at scenarios. Wait a minute, this is what my mother was going through. Oh, now I remember us riding down the street in the car and them chasing her, and she
Mhm.
stopped and asked, could you stop and allow me to have time with my family? So his awareness is totally different as an adult once he realized it was being played out again with his wife. And imagine the horror he thought. I don't want to lose my wife the way I lost my mother.
Yes.
So let me add this. Okay, so D said from what I read, it seemed like they thought Megan could handle it better because she was an actress, and
Yeah.
to and it would be difficult to conceptualize. It's almost like, to me, this situation is almost like we're just removing any responsibility of knowing what you are getting into from Megan. If y'all want to do that, then okay, y'all go ahead and do that. But what
No.
I'm saying is, but hold on, guys. Let me say this. It's almost like
Cause you
it's
tripping.
almost like meeting a man that cheated on seven of his wives, and then you walk in and like, oh my God, he cheated on me. Girl, he cheated
She
on
did
the
not
last
know about
Can I
seven.
these
can I
other
do the
Hold
wake up
on,
call
people.
I'm
here?
gonna let you in. Hold on, because there's some people that want to talk to me here. Hold on, one. Wait, yeah, Miss Max said, Diva, I love you, but I'm gonna need you to stop saying but. I hear you,
Thank you,
but
do.
I hear you, but
The
listen,
people are
guys.
saying you tripping,
Listen,
Diva.
yo, we fighting
You're
right now.
bugging out.
We fighting right now because what I want y'all to understand is, y'all want to place Megan and just being so naive about the whole situation. And
Nope.
I'm just saying that y'all need to hold on 1 minute, hold tight, and stop it. You are not that naive. And like Lorraine said, you had two other girlfriends that
That
left
she
you
do that she did not know that
because,
though.
And
shame on him for not having pillow talk with her.
but wait, no,
Shame
no, here's the
on
thing
Harry.
though, Diva. I can
Yes.
we can tell you that this is the case, this is the situation, and these things can happen.
Uh-huh.
And it's there is no training for this. So I can tell you that it's cold outside and you should wear the puffer jacket and not the shearling. But you go outside in the shearling and say, damn, I didn't know. Because until you go through it, I can just give you some basic information. You don't ever have, and while we do know that the British press is really intense and invasive,
Mhm.
unless and until you in it and it's happening, you don't know what it is. Honestly.
So let me ask
When
you this,
you the first
Robin.
time,
Let me ask you this, and then whoever wants to speak.
sure.
When she, before she married him,
Hmm.
and she was going to the supermarket, and they chased her, sent all of these people down the aisle after her, and then she had to speed off to the house, and he had to protect her.
Hmm.
There was no clues then.
Listen, Diva, here's the thing. It wasn't a clue, it was actual facts. But here, let me put this on you. Then they got married. It intensified because you know what? Now she was a working royal. So now you had more people following them, greater surveillance, more people getting paid
Mhm.
off, more insiders talking, telling their business. It intensified because the stakes were higher. She had a greater value once she became the wife of the prince. That's what it is.
And
It's all relative, and we just don't know that we can only conceptualize, but until you
somebody's
experience it.
playing music in the background. Can you
Oh,
mute
I'm sorry.
yourself
I
so
live in
that
the
the
Bronx. Those are
video?
I'm gonna put myself
Oh,
on
okay,
mute.
okay, okay,
That's the
okay,
people
okay.
a block over, and
Oh
that's by
my
the
God.
way low. It gets louder.
Ooh.
Wow. So let me add this to the conversation, right? Because everybody's like, Diva, would you
Wow.
know what to do? This, that, and the other. Let me just say this. I met somebody once that their family didn't seem to like them. And I was like, why your mama, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, the people down the block, your neighbors,
You so petty. You so petty.
seem to not like you? Okay? Oh, it don't make sense to me. So on that note, I'm good. I'm not about to walk in this situation, try to figure out and be the next person that doesn't like you. You go find you somebody else to be with, because all of these people don't seem to like you. It got to be something going on here. Okay. So my thing is, sometimes you know what you know and you see what you see, and you want to go ahead past the stop sign. Okay, you want to go ahead past all the warning signs, the red flags, and you want to proceed on. And then when you get there, you're like, oh my God. No, oh my God, there was 10 red flags that you ignored. And so now you're here. And so now you're here. Smoke, you're in the building. What would you like to add to this conversation? Because they trying to beat me up.
Smoke, come on in here and read Diva. Get her together real quick, cause she playing us. She playing us in
I
our
had
face.
I had to I had to change my picture so Beyonce is Diva and I'm Blue Ivy with your hand over the mouth because you doing a
Oh
lot today,
yes.
Diva. Diva, I'm gonna need you
Oh,
to pick a side. Stop trying to swerve, curve,
Stay
dip, and
on
dive.
it.
Stop trying to electric slide your way on this icy slope that you on with your butts. I'm gonna need you to pick a point and be with it and ride on it, and whoever comes for you comes for you. But this adding a butt, no
come on,
ma'am,
Smoke.
no ma'am, no ma'am.
I'm
I
sitting
love
up,
y'all,
Smoke.
man.
I'm
I
sitting
love
up, Smoke.
y'all.
What's up, Smoke? What's up?
Here's my like I listen. I haven't read the book, but I pretty much know like the deal of the situation between Harry and his family and Meghan for whatnot. Granted, and someone even put in the chat, I can understand him not explaining like pillow talk or saying like this is my situation because you're not trying to scare someone that you possibly want to spend the rest of your life with. So you're, I guess, hoping I was thinking he's hoping he could shield her as much as he could and take the grunt of it because this is his life and he understands it and he knows it. But I guess he didn't anticipate that she would, I guess, get full view as well. But but also, no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say, but I also do understand what Diva's trying to say. That yes, because I listen. This is the one thing I don't believe and I don't agree with. I'm like, sis, you know, you research, you Googled, you asked Jeeves, you looked up that man before y'all were ever in communication. We are in the 21st century, and you're a public figure. You're definitely doing your research to see who this person is. So I do not believe for a second she was oblivious and unaware of the situation or the marriage or relationship that she was possibly going to enter when she started talking to Harry. So that's where I'm like, sis, I'm gonna need you to like stop trying to up this image and play the victim. Be honest. You looked up the man, you understand he was royal, you're gonna be a princess, and that's okay. That's cool. Be honest about it, but don't lie.
Don't lie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree. I believe she knew who he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, she did. She did. And we not, and we at least we can stand by that, y'all. Come on
I
now.
Yes.
love
See,
after
there we go.
lockup. Do
There's
you
that
see this,
thread.
Diva? I'm so
Listen,
Oh my
listen,
goodness.
A
okay.
But Diva, I
homeschool.
must say, this has been amazing. This book
Yes.
review, first of all, I just want to say thank you for doing this book with me. Thank you for letting us come on
Yes.
your channel and have fun. This has been an
Yes.
amazing book. And if you have not read this book, everybody, you need to read it. I don't
Who are
think it
we
Yes.
was
giving this
just
to,
so.
Roy? I didn't mean to cut you off,
Oh,
but who's getting
yes.
this book? How are we doing this?
Yes. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna run through the chat, and whoever my eyes lands on, that is who we're gonna give the book to.
That's what we're gonna give the book to.
Period. But I just want to say to the individual we're going to give the book to, and those who have not read the book, I would really suggest reading this book. Not only is it a self reflection of Prince Harry, but I think it is also a self help for us as well. First of all, to be
Mhm.
grateful for the upbringing that we have in our families, and I know everybody doesn't have a perfect family situation, but I could not imagine being a part of this family. I couldn't imagine marrying into this family. But then it also talks about the mental health and just growing in different stages in life.
Mhm.
And so it was a great read for me. I would definitely read it again because there's just so many little jewels and details in this book that if you're reading it just the first time, just to kind of get through it, you kind of miss a lot. But I'm a close my eyes, Diva, and I am scrolling my pad, and I am landing on Miss Mac.
Ooh,
Okay.
congratulations.
Yes,
Miss Mac.
congratulations. Please email me and with your information, and I will get this out in the mail. Okay, gonna get this out in the
Yes.
mail. And every time we do a book review, we will give away the book. Next time we'll give it away ahead of time. So that you know what, Roya, we'll give it away ahead of time so that everybody could kind
They
of
can
read
read with
along with
us.
us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do it that way. But listen, yes, yes, Miss Mac, congratulations. Okay. Email me. It's I think it's on this scroll here, right?
It's
Is
it's
it?
not
It
it's
is not.
not
Put it
but
in the chat.
yes.
chroniclesgrayhead@gmail.com. Yeah, right. That's it. Yep. Congratulations. So yes, we will always give away a book. We are thinking about doing the Kept Ones by Bunny the Bodge, and we also have this book about love. So we're going to continue with our book club, but I
Okay.
had a fabulous time, and I'm go around and let everybody say their final words, but I do want to say this hashtag Pillow Talk. Auntie Robin, what,
Mm, shade.
Which
you
y'all
know,
I'm
I'm
not gonna do
petty
it.
Betty. I'm petty Betty. Petty. Okay, Auntie Robin, what's up? What is your final words?
Great chat. Gotta go. Got music in the background.
Okay.
Oh.
Love you, Auntie
Smoke,
Robin.
Smoke, what are your final words, Smoke?
My words are, and some may come for me, but I was like, ain't Megan? Some people do some strange thing for a piece of change. I hope it was worth marrying to this lifestyle because now you got to
Mhm.
deal with them for forever.
Mhm.
Forever. Forever. Strange things for a piece of change. I like that.
I do too.
Sheila, what's your final words?
My final words, as I'm in agreement with you on some points, and I tell you about pillow talk. Sometimes pillow talk will have you saying yes to stuff you would normally
Woo!
say no to. Okay,
Come
Come on
so
on.
now. Come on now. Come
pillow
on now.
talk ain't all
See?
of that is worth. Okay, because you
Come
can
on,
say yes
Sheila.
to
I
some stuff you
see.
would normally say no to, and I was about to make my husband a banana nut bread, and I was listening as I normally do if I'm in the kitchen doing stuff. And I said, wait a minute, let me come up here because I get that she didn't think she was going to be treated that badly. But unfortunately, it opened our eyes to what
Mm,
the roles were truly about.
Oh
yes.
my God. Oh my God. Best IBK, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to Pillow Talk. I'm trying to tell you. But you know what, Sheila? You said a word there. That is fact. Sometimes the Pillow Talk will have you saying yes to what you would normally say no to. That is fact.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hmm.
Tell it. Okay. They said bam. Okay. But they said but Sheila. I mean,
And I speak from experience, okay?
woo!
Ooh, Miss Sheila. This is the day before the Sunday.
Listen, that's facts. That's big
So listen,
facts.
guys, we are about to close out, but let me just close out because we got to show this just one more again. Just one more again. Okay. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Okay.
Thank you
He's
so
Ooh.
going to
much,
close
sir.
out our day. All right.
Yes.
Ooh,
He
I like
killed
to
Listen,
it
see
right
before
Michael
we
here.
some hot
go,
with some hot
Diva,
oil.
Yes.
before we go, we
Uh-huh.
y'all, we are gonna do better with our
Yes.
promoting, but we are
Yes.
still promoting our Laugh, Love, Inspire tour. So if you are a content creator, as we stare at the beauty of Mr. Michael B. Jordan,
Mm.
please remember
Mm,
to email me or Diva.
mm.
Jesus, what a gift. Sorry.
But again,
Lori
Please
Harvey was
remember
a
to
dummy.
email me. Dumb, da 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 dumb. But we'll move
what
past
happened?
that.
I said Lori
Cause
Harvey
who
was
would
a
let go of a
dummy.
man like this?
Who
Who
But
would
child?
care?
Roy, he kind of looked like a daddy when he shaved off his mustache though, so I can see it.
Don't. No. We got to
Which
give
one?
credit where credit is due. This is a piece of artwork.
Definitely.
God is good. God is good. Okay. Listen,
Yeah.
we're not even going to try to discount this man right here and take away the
Mm-mm.
accolades, honey.
No, because
This
he
is
is
chiseled.
fine.
This is discipline. This is amazing. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Michael B. Jordan, for being
Thank
you.
you.
With that being said, listen, guys. Thank you.
Subscribe to Diva's channel. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. We would love to
Yes.
have you.
Yes.
And please remember, we will be back on Monday with the reunion part 1 of what, Diva?
Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? Real Housewives
Okay.
of
Period.
Potomac. And listen, guys, I even though Sheila is right, hashtag pillow talk. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good evening.